with the doctor.
Dr. Evil gets 2 votes right now. Guys and gals, we will tally up yours as well. Whoever matches Paul, give us your votes before Paul answers. And if you actually match up Paul's, whoever matches this up correctly will get a prize. We'll throw it right now over to David Holiday, even though Howard Collado is still together. There we go. This is a bit of a tough one. Who had a bit of a good guy in him and why? The options are Louis De Palma from Taxi, played by Danny DeVito, Jason from Friday the 13th, or Lieutenant Harris from Police Academy. And if you don't know who Lieutenant Harris was, he was the guy that said, "Move it, move it, move it." And he also screamed out Proctor's name every time. Proctor! Where is Proctor? David Holiday.
I think that when we had an opportunity to see Jason versus Freddie, I think we got to see a little bit of some goodness there in Jason. All those the list that you gave could be tough to find good things, but the clip that you show a lot where those hoodlums are hanging out in Manhattan, I think Howard's one of them. The clip when Jason comes by and
David, can I ask you a question? Are you referring to this guy in the background? If you guys want to look at Howard, a young Howard who has great acting chops, we talk about, is he in this film right here in the background?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is see, there's Howard right there.
I see him.
Causing trouble. And Jason's not going to take it. This is a public area. The music's too loud.
But do you notice how he enjoys kicking the boombox? Puts a lot of oomph into it, right, Paul?
Incredibly distracting. There's families out there. Jason knows it.
He could have walked around it. Was it so hard for him to just walk around the boombox?
Well, the problem was that Howard was playing his own music.
Yes.
And get that
I got a funny feeling if Paul Romo was walking down the streets of Times Square and heard Howard playing, he'd kick that boombox out of left field as well. Great Howard Collado, you disagree with David Holiday's hypothesis here as far as why Jason did that. But what about your answer? Are you going with Jason? Are you going with Louis De Palma?
Well, first
or
of all,
are you going? Go ahead.
Sure. Jason was actually walking towards a blown up picture of David, and he wanted to pretty much destroy this picture.
I gave you 5 minutes to prepare for that. That's what you're giving me?
But my answer is going to be Harris, because just like me, I work with incompetence to my right here, and he worked with incompetence, and it's frustrating when you work with people who are at this level and you're here, so I'm going to go with Harris.
I don't think, even though we're listening to you, we didn't hear anything you said. Kelly Coleman, haha, that clip makes me laugh with Jason, yeah. Wow. Why does Howard always get treated like a redheaded stepchild? Well, if the shoe fits, right? Hector, yeah. We got a lot of people voting for Harris. Paul Roma, I want to hear your opinion. We got Harris, we've got Jason, we've got Louis De Palma.
Well, I listened to their answers, and they were good. You guys had good, decent, if I say reasons as to why, but I'm going to go with Louis. Little Louis. Louis, he had a thing. For what was her name? The girl there,
Mary Lou Henner.
Yes. So he had a thing for her. So there was some love there, and there were times when he showed his niceness, but then he had to cover it up with yelling at everybody because he didn't want them to see that he had a good side.
Sure.
But I think deep down inside, the guy had a big heart for a little guy.
You got to admit, though, he ran that garage like Napoleon in that little booth that he had. Man, this guy was he was ready. You know what the funny thing about Louis De Palma was? He loved his mother. He always we'd see some episodes where he was always there for his mom. He did this all for his mom. And if you were working with Christopher Lloyd every day, if you were working with Andy Kaufman bothering you, you probably would get a temper also working with those guys. I could see that.
I met him in Madison Square Garden.
The next one we have, the next trio of options as Howard plays us on. We've got a few more of these. This is the quintessential bad guy or heel in movies. I'm talking about the character of Shooter McGavin, who always played by Christopher McDonald. This guy always plays a bad guy. Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, Hannibal Lecter, who David Holiday portrays really well, or Tony Soprano, who had a little bit of a good guy in him, and why, David Holiday?
Let's see. I will say...
We got Shooter, Hannibal, or Tony?
I think Shooter McGavin was probably an okay guy. I think that he was, golf
misunderstood.
Misunderstood. Golf's a gentleman's game, and Adam Sandler comes in there and mocks this game, and I can see him being incredibly frustrated. This is a game where we wear collared shirts, right? We don't show up in tank tops. We don't come drinking, riding the club like it's a horse, around the green.
Profanity every second coming out of his mouth, and
absolutely, he was incredibly disrespectful to the sport. Shooter was, he was a professional, and and was forced to being the villain in that. I was frustrated with Adams' disrespect.
Shooter McGavin, trying to make sure that he's playing a dignified game, and he was sticking up for the sport. Howard Colato, why don't you pick up your guitar and do what you do best and play a little bit? But unfortunately, we have to hear your response as well, accompanied by your playing. We will give you now your trio of options: Shooter McGavin, Hannibal Lecter, or Tony Soprano.
As much as I would love to see Hannibal eat David like fafa beans, I'm gonna go with Tony Soprano because he was a family man at heart, and he had these shortcomings, with the women's, but
I see. So it's more like a relatability thing with you and him. Okay.
No,
he was going to win father of the year and husband of the year.
Right. I would love to have the ability to whack people. That'd be great. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tony. He was a good guy at heart. He was like a teddy bear. Sometimes if you didn't get the work done, again, he worked with incompetence sometimes, and it frustrated him.
I can relate to Tony Soprano, and I'm not talking about my great co-hosts because they're anything but incompetent. I'm talking about the man who just spoke, Howard Colato. Paul Roma, your trio of options. Look, Howard forgets to play it's all about him. It's just all about him. Paul Roma, your options are Tony Soprano. We have Shooter McGavin or Hannibal Lecter.
Well, my first thought was to go with Soprano. He seemed to be a lovable guy, tried to provide really well for his family, even though he murdered a ton of people. But you know what? And I see some people chiming in and, they're talking about Tony, but I'm going to go the opposite way now. I'm going to go with Hannibal. And the reason I'm going to go with Lecter is because he helped them find the other guy that was killing and eating people.
Yes, Buffalo Bill.
Yeah. His offside, even though, he was eating people too.
That's right, yeah. You know what it was, though? I think Hannibal Lecter was a gentleman. Maybe not the greatest dinner guest you can invite to your home, but the guy had principles. He kind of played a bit of a pseudo heel, pseudo good guy in that movie. And I could see your perspective. And again, guys and gals, I want to let you know, Hannibal Lecter wasn't out to eat just anyone. He was a bit of a picky eater. He was fickle. He was a bit fickle. Buffalo Bill would just eat anything that came his way. Played by the great Ted Levine as well. Michael Anthony has Tony Soprano having shortcomings with women. He cheated on his wife all the time. He stuffed everyone. He's okay. I agree, Paul, from Mindy. We get that. Right now, Howard Colato will cue us up for the next trio of options that we have. We got three more of these guys and gals. David Holliday, who had a little bit of good guy in him, and why? Tony Montana, Scarface, the Joker, any Joker you'd like, or Clubber Lang.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tony Montana. He was he's a violent man, but the guy came from nothing, and was forced into petty crime, gets to the United States, turns this into a huge – but you know what? He loved his sister. He showed vulnerability there. I find that –
gave her some money, right, to his mom and his sister.
And even when the mom's screaming at him to get out of the house, he still slipped her a few thousand.
And let's be honest over here. He gave them the money before he bought that oversized tiger for his wedding, if you remember that.
Absolutely. And he wasn't looking for praise. He was just doing the right thing in that particular situation.
Right. He was doing the right thing, and of course it led to the deaths of his best friend and his by his own hands, and about maybe 25 other people that trusted him.
But his motivation
was pure. Yeah, the follow through wasn't. Howard Colato, who doesn't know how to follow through because he stopped playing music for whatever reason. We have Tony Montana. We also have Clubber Lang or the Joker.
I'm gonna go with Clubber Lang. He was just trying to be the best. He was just trying to be the best fighter. And then Rocky came along and had the same...
He spoke nicely to Adrian, didn't he? He was kind of calm. He was a little...
Yeah, and they became best friends, afterwards. And he helped him train him.
Tell you something. I don't care how tough or ferocious Clubber Lang was. If Clubber Lang talked to anybody's wife that way, the fact that Rocky Balboa wanted to fight him because they were fighting over Adrian, that spoke to me because that's the line that you didn't cross. Clubber Lang was a lot more I think he was psychologically a lot more tough than Rocky was at that point. He played mind games. He played a lot of mind games. And he spoke to the reporter, though, very nicely. If you watch that segment where he's speaking to the reporter, he's answering him nicely. He's giving him eye contact. I see you. Okay, so that's Clubber Lang is your choice.
Yeah, look, he was just trying to tell Adrian, look, man, if you need a friend, to talk to, life advice, let me know. That's all.
Guys and gals, I want to address you. Go ahead, Paul Roma, please.
I was going to say Michael Anthony. Want to talk about shares?
Shares. And guys, I want to let you know this. Yesterday, Ray Lloyd, 301 shares. Friday, Duke the Dumpster Josie Road to Recovery, 400 shares. We're at 243. The lowest amount of shares we received is like 212 in the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks. That means over 200,000 people are watching us. Let's get to 300, baby. Come on, guys and gals. Let's push this to 300 right now. Right now, we're going to go to Paul Roma, who will give us the decisive answer. Tony Montana, the Joker, Clubber Lang.
Well, I'm going with Tony Montana, and here's the reason why. The one scene why, because when they were in the car and they were supposed to blow up that guy who's going to, shoot against them, and he
kids.
goes, I'm not going to blow kids up. That showed me everything right there. That guy was, he had a heart. You know what I mean? I
forgot about that. That's pretty good too, by the way. That was really good. I forgot about that. I did. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Howard stopped playing music, but that's true.
Baby face right there, right? He had the biggest heart in the world. He knew he was going to, pay for it because he killed it. But hey, no kids. I told you, no kids.
Yeah. No, listen. I mean, we're looking at guys who obviously aren't people you'd invite to your recital, to your daughter's recital or anything. But we have to pick. We have to choose slim pickings. I get why Tony Montana of the bunch might have been the guy that you probably are going with. We have a couple of more here to go right now. Ivan Drago, Lex Luthor, Frankenstein, David Holliday. Ivan Drago, Lex Luthor, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, without a doubt. He didn't ask for any of that. He was resting in peace. He was brought back, victimized by the town, and then yet was showing love. What a classic, Frankenstein. There was a heart in there. Absolutely, he's a good guy.
Howard Collado.
I'm going to go with Drago. And very much like me, he was surrounded by just bad.
Keep playing, Howard.
He was surrounded by bad people. You know what I mean? And just like I'm surrounded by David Holliday. And Drago.
Drago's your choice?
Yep.
Ivan Drago. Someone tell Paul Roma is not going to go for Drago. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he will. Your options again are Frankenstein, Ivan Drago, or Lex Luthor from Superman.
Well, I didn't find too much love in Drago or Lex Luthor. So I got to go with Frankenstein, man. Guy, again, he didn't want to be brought back. He just all of a sudden woke up one day and he had all these bolts and screws and, stitches and basically put back together, didn't know what the hell was going on. And then he fell in love, so.
He did.
With that.
Yeah, he did.
And guys, there's a rare portrayal out there. I actually own this. TNT aired the movie like 3 times in '93. Randy Quaid played a damn good Frankenstein. Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Really, not really well known. Did not get a lot of airplay. Awesome portrayal. Frankenstein across the board. And right now, we got 2 more of these, and let's see if David Holliday can give us his answer as Howard plays along. Our next trio of options are as such: Mr. Holliday, Dracula, Sensei Kreese from The Karate Kid, or Wile E. Coyote? Dracula, Sensei Kreese, or Wile E. Coyote?
I gotta say that Wile E. Coyote, was there ever any moment when he and Roadrunner kind of had some mutual, kind of like Tom and Jerry? Did we ever?
I think Roadrunner was kind of like the jerk. I think he was the antagonist.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
was the antagonist. Wiley was just hungry. He's just doing what is innate, instinctual for a coyote.
Darwinism. It's Darwinism 101. Yeah, sure.
He just wanted to eat, and the Roadrunner, he mocked him, put his life in danger. Almost every episode. Wile E. Coyote ended up being a victim of some terrible fall or
Awful. I can't watch that cartoon. I know it's tough. It's tough to
it's hard when it just comes down to the fact